You see that guy standing right there? That's I couldn't be happier for him. And just to tell you the kind of guy that Daren Bolton is, they already know. He knows he won a district championship, but you know what he's doing right now? He's coaching.
Yep.
He's coaching.
So
he hasn't lifted a hand to celebrate, hasn't said a word. He's coaching. That's Daren Bolton.
Well, a pleasant good evening to you and yours, and welcome to the Brevard Sports Network as we inch ever so close to the opening day of fall camps. Yes, that's right. Coming up here in just a couple of weeks. I believe it's the final Monday in January, or July. It's a J month. Final Monday in July. Those camps will open. Volleyball tryouts will kick in at some point in time, and they get cranked up sometime around, really get cranked up sometime around the first, second week of August. Well, joining me today is one of the staples, backbones of the volleyball sport here in Brevard County, going into his 18th year overall, 11th year at Satellite High School as the head volleyball coach. Please welcome here tonight to the Brevard Sports Network. It's an honor to have him back, the head coach of the Satellite Scorpions, Coach Daren Bolton. And Coach, welcome back to Brevard Sports Network. And how have you been enjoying your summer, Coach?
Working and coaching, but I'm loving it. Loving it. It's been a good summer so far.
Coach, do you guys still do the Monday night deals over at Satellite?
Yes, sir. We have 5 high schools that are participating. Actually, because of 1 or 2 schools can't make it on certain nights, I think we'll have a total of 7 different high schools that participated this summer.
Wow, that's great, and of course, it's always good to get over there and listen. I was talking to Coach Patrick about this, talking to Coach Nicole about this. I know that we encourage our student athletes to be multiple sport athletes, and for the most part, a lot of them are. But it is so hard today in certain sports like volleyball to be multiple sport athletes, because a sport like volleyball, Coach, between beach volleyball and indoor volleyball, it's a year-round sport that takes a lot of commitment from coaches and players, doesn't it?
Yeah. There, I've watched those interviews, and I think all the coaches feel about the same as far as we understand it. We understand the need, the benefits of these kids that are pretty much playing volleyball year round. But I'm still old school. If you gave me a preference, I liked it when we had very distinct seasons, when one stopped and another one started, and you had multiple athletes that are doing multiple sports. It's so difficult today. I mean, some still do it, and we do our best, especially at Satellite. All of our coaches work with each other and encourage these kids to do multiple sports. I support any of my kids doing it with any extracurricular activities, because high school is about the experience, and I want them to experience it to the fullest.
I believe you had a volleyball player that was an outstanding track and field athlete this year as well. So, yeah, no, absolutely. Here with Daren Bolton. Coach, I just want to look back real quick on last season. My heart broke for your program last year. Great start to the season, and an injury to a key player really kind of seemed to dictate the rest of the season for you. And it's unfortunate when that happens, because, I thought your team really rallied well. You got back to the FHSAA State Tournament last year. I thought that was great, the way that the girls rallied. But watching you guys start last year, it was you guys, I thought, were playing really, really well. You had the win over MCC, the 200th win for you, and then the injury to Lola. Kind of a roller coaster for you guys last year in terms not of wins and losses, but really emotions, Coach.
Yeah, you know, fortunately, unfortunately, you were there that night.
Yeah.
you saw how emotional I was. It's a senior that been in the program, one of our top players, if not our top. Great kid, great leader. Uh, it breaks your heart because they get one shot at high school, and every now and then these injuries happen at terrible times
Yep.
for athletes. It's part of the business, but it still tears your heart out. And yeah, it affected us, and a lot more than I thought it was going to. And as I reflect on the season, it I I didn't think it would, but it did.
Yeah. Coach, let me ask you this. You've been doing this a long time. I asked Coach Patrick this. I asked Coach Nicole this. What's different about you today as a coach in terms of, and I'm not going to go back to 18 years ago when you started, but what's different about you as a coach, say, coming into this season than maybe 5 or 6 years ago?
I guess there's the transition as you get older, more mature, and life changes. Uh, I'm I fight myself because I'm ultra competitive. I want us to succeed and I want us to play our best. And man, I take it to heart when we don't. And I put an immense amount of pressure on myself. And sometimes I probably put an immense amount of pressure on my players and my team. And sometimes I don't enjoy the moment like I should. And when I reflect on it, I'm like, it's funny. But, in the midst of last season, there was a lot of frustration. There was a lot of ups and downs. And when you pull yourself back from it, I'm like, dang, I'm not going to have those 7 seniors in my gym anymore. I'm not going to, you don't get us. You don't. Every time we get in that gym, I feel blessed. I feel fortunate, and I got to do a little better job at taking it all in, the whole
Gotcha.
experience. Take it in, not just how we performed and whether I feel we met our expectations or not.
Here with Daren Bolton. And Coach, I know, obviously every year you lose some seniors, but I want to touch on your other programs from last year. Your JV team, I could be wrong, Coach, 14-1 last season, or I'm sorry, your freshman team was 14-1. I think
Yeah.
your JV team 13-3, 27-4. I think I've read between the two programs. Phenomenal effort there. How many of those young ladies will be ready to join you this year?
Man, Alan, hey, whew, it's exciting in our gym right now.
Yeah, that's good.
One, I've got an incredible coaching staff. Brenda and Dave, we've been together quite a long time, and it's starting to show. It's really been showing. Our freshman, I guess, I think only lost one game in 2 years, and
2 years.
only two or three. And holy cow, do they look like they're going to be stronger than ever this year. We've got an incredible freshman class coming in. We have so many kids coming in. We separate our freshmen open gyms versus our upperclassmen open gyms. And man, you walk into our freshman open gyms, it ain't easy to tell that this is our freshman open gym. It could be, you could come in and not know any better and think it's our upperclassman one.
It's funny to hear you say that because I can hear the excitement in your voice about your players. A lot of times when we do these interviews, you try to temper the expectations in terms of what coming into the season. But you really sound excited about the immediate future of this volleyball program, Coach. That's good to hear.
Extremely excited, Alan. It's it's a little bit of a transition year. We lost obviously some good kids,
Yeah.
some key players. That was the group that was, if you remember, 4 years ago when we graduated 10 seniors from that good run we had, and the only two returners transferred out. So we had a complete rebuild, and that was that group. That was that group that, came into the gym to kind of keep the standard up, and, did a good job of that. And now we're, losing them is a big loss, but I'm extremely excited because, again, as you've seen with the success of our freshman rec program and JV program, we've got a good program going where we're kind of reloading. I feel it feels like an excitement in the gym, and there's a lot of nerves in the gym for the first time in a while. So when you had those kids that came up in that group, we had a lot of 3-year players, even one 4-year on varsity. So kind of everybody was in their roles and kind of accepted it, whether they were in a supportive role or whether they were in a starting role. It seemed there was maybe a little complacency or predetermination this year. There shouldn't be anybody comfortable about anything because, I told my kids there's no returners. I have no returners. The only time that I can classify you as a returner is if you make the team this year and you happen to be on it last year, because the gym's competitive. It's more competitive than I've ever had.
That's one of the things I love about you, Coach, and I wrote this last year, is the fact that I love the fact that you play your players. You rotate your players in, all of them, and I love how I don't know that anybody uses their bench better than you, and I don't, I was told you can't call it a bench. I don't know that anybody uses the rotation better than you do, and I'm excited to see how this plays out for the Scorpions this year. Here with Daren Bolton, and in the future here with Daren Bolton. Coach, I want to take a jump back, and for those of you that don't know, it's well documented. Coach Bolton and I have talked about it on many occasions. His love for the beach game, what Coach Bolton has done for this beach game in Brevard County. You talk to any coach in this county, and any player for that matter, and they will tell you the passion that this man has had over the last nearly 2 decades now of getting beach volleyball to where it is. So, Coach, I got to ask you this. As you looked across the county this year, for the first time, you had yourself a Cape Coast Conference tournament. I'm curious as to if you took a step back and just looked at everything and said, wow, it's really gotten to this point.
Yeah, I did at that Cape Coast Conference tournament. I would say for the first time in a very long time, I got emotional that night. Some of it was, I felt, obviously we wanted to win it, but the emotions were from how the vision I've always had, the dream I've always had for this sport to be this big in the county. To be honest with you, it's exceeded my dreams and visions. This county, the coaches, the athletic directors, our school board, Matt Susan, and all them, everyone there's a long list we've went over before, have just supported it tremendously. And to see it come together in that tournament really was. I hadn't been that emotional in a while, as just far as just taking it all in. I don't take it all in much. Like I told you, that's part of my problem. I get very, very laser focused in a match or how we're playing or what needs to be done, but that night it was a little bit of an emotional dump.
Yeah, somebody took a picture of you, and I can remember you had your arms folded, and you just had an angle of the courts where I thought, I bet he's just looking at this going, wow, this is really all, and it is, Coach. And congratulations to you and everyone that has fought as hard as you have throughout the years to see the courts popping up, to see the number of teams, that went to the FHSAA State Tournament this year. I can remember doing interviews where you needed to raise money for courts. I can remember when I was at Space Coast Daily talking about making beach volleyball a sanctioned sport with you. It has been an incredible journey, and I can only imagine how you must feel about it all. So congratulations on this, because it's been a lot of fun to watch. I'm sure not as much fun to go through with the ups and downs, but it certainly has been fun to see the fruits of the labor that you and others have put in. So congratulations, Coach.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I
Yeah.
know my name gets brought up a lot, but I want to thank especially Angie. I know she gave me a lot of credit, but from the first day, we wouldn't have the success if it weren't for the coaches to take their time, and especially a lot of us started with no pay, 100% on our own, just trying to get kids to believe in what we're doing and parents to believe what we're doing. And yes, this year to see it all come together, there's a lot of people I hope that were at that event and kind of look around and took in that moment.
You know, Coach, I got to ask this question because, and again, for those that know, they know what the movie Top Gun meant to you in beach volleyball. So I haven't had the chance to ask you this question yet, so I'm going to ask. What'd you think of Top Gun 2?
I loved it.
Did you?
It disappointed me that they used some silly football scene. That was disappointing.
Me
I
too.
was hoping they
Go ahead.
I was hoping they would have made. I mean, that scene in Top Gun is the volleyball scene is so cheesy. Once you learn the game, it's terribly cheesy. But in the moment, it was inspiring.
Yeah,
But
and I thought about you in Top Gun too when they were playing football, and I thought, oh, this is not going to sit well.
no, it didn't. My wife and I went. We don't see a lot of movies in the theater, but I told her we 100% had to see it. And yeah, I I was disappointed, but
I'll bet, I'll bet. But yeah, no, you're right. It was good. It was a good movie. Coach, I want to get your take on just the growth of this sport indoor, as you know. And you know, when I started covering volleyball in this county, I can't. It's hard to believe this now, but starting with a pink game 10 years ago, it was two teams every year, and that was it. That's just not the case anymore. It's just not. And even, you know, like a team that dominates every year and year, you know, like Merritt Island, right? I mean, there you get the sense that teams are good enough these days to where those teams that once had a stranglehold on this county do not anymore, and it has really made for some incredible volleyball. What's your take on why the sport has gotten so strong in this county, particularly?
there's the obvious of the clubs, right?
Right.
We have several clubs. More kids are playing. Uh, it's been a grassroots effort by a lot of clubs. It's been a grassroots effort by, I contribute a lot of our participation and success to our PAL league that got started. Officer Paul started a PAL volleyball league that Derek over at Kennedy Middle School started middle school volleyball. And then to see all of that, we just got, and the clubs have grown the younger ages. And so more kids are playing, more kids are getting good training. I went to that middle school volleyball championship between Vieira Middle and Delara, and holy cow, it was the equivalent of a good JV match.
Yeah.
You know, when I first got to Satellite, we were at registration begging kids to come out so we would have enough to have a freshman team. We consistently have close to 30 freshmen in our gym on Mondays and Wednesdays during the summer. And it's not a matter of we got to teach them how to pass the ball. Let's teach them how to overhand serve like we used to. It's get them in and get them working because they've got the fundamentals down. So, and a lot of that comes from the club. And we have some very good clubs in the county, and it's really grown the sport tremendously.
That atmosphere. My good friend Bill Maharis beat me to stream that championship. But yes, great match. And I did a middle school volleyball championship this year down on I can't remember the name of the elementary, down on University off US 1, but I went and did a volleyball match down there. There were 300 kids in the gym, and it was an atmosphere. I couldn't believe how electric the atmosphere was for middle school volleyball, Coach. And listen, kudos to those students for coming and supporting the student athletes, because when you're on the court and you feel that from your fellow students, that's huge too.
Oh, so that match, I literally, my wife and I and Coach Brenda were together, and we were right over near Bill Maharis, and I'd talked to them, and there were goosebumps on my arms.
Yeah.
I literally, as excited as I was about the growth of beach volleyball, seeing that and watching that match, the level that it was played at, the gym was packed. There were more kids there and parents there than definitely the average high school match for sure. You might have Vieira versus Merritt Island or some of the big rivalries around that a high school match would have more and maybe be some energy in the gym. But that energy in that gym that night was so exciting. I went up and got to hug Derek Reed, you talk about a vision. He had that vision for middle school volleyball when I was at Rockledge. And he fought and fought and fought. Matt Susan jumped in behind. There's a lot of people, but those are the ones I know of that, got that middle school and grew it. I mean, Derek was having well over 100 kids coming out back in 2009, 2010, that type of thing. And it was awesome to see him there and getting to just take it all in and a giant smile on his face. It gave me goosebumps.
Coach, yeah, it's incredible here with Daren Bolton. Coach, I want to just, as we wind this thing down, I want to hit you from you love sports. Like you said, you're an old school guy like myself. I'm kind of curious to get your take on things like the name, image, and likeness in high school sports in the state of Florida. And because I think, Coach, to be honest with you, we're going to eventually see these student athletes cash in on these things. And some of the things that happen, you had mentioned that it felt like that middle school game felt like a JV game. And I think the level of play with how much they play and how good these student athletes are now at a lot of sports at the varsity level was college sports 10, 15 years ago. I'm curious to get your take, or if volleyball, or if your team ever talks about any of these types of changes like name, image, and likeness. And do you ever foresee a day when, a girl or a volleyball team in this county will take advantage of something like that?
Alan, it's still sinking into me. It's all new, but no, we really haven't had any conversations. It really hasn't trickled into our sport that I'm aware of. I know not into our gym. I think
Right.
it's inevitable. I think it's part of the future of sports. Us old school guys probably want to kick, fight, and scratch a little bit about it. The makeup of high school athletics is changing dramatically. For a lot of reasons. Um, for an old school guy like me that takes a lot of pride in community and school spirit and all that good stuff, that those things sometimes are going to creep in, and it's going to be about something else, right? It's going to be about name, image, and likeness. It's not going to be about, hey, I'm a Cocoa Tiger, true, that
Right.
I live in Cocoa. I see we've lost some of that. That's just kind of the times. It is what it is. But I I know at least I'm a huge college sports fan. Uh, I think there's got to be some sort of compromise. I did not like that those athletes did not get any compensation, or that's long overdue. But boy, they got a firestorm going there.
Yes, they
And
do.
believe me, I don't have any of the answers for that. And I hope it don't creep down that to any magnitude in the high school, because I don't know. I'm a passionate guy, and I coach all passion. I want kids to be passionate about our program and what we're trying to do. Don't come to me because maybe you can earn more money on name, image, and likeness.
No.
That's not there, but I would never want to be coaching in that environment. I just
Yeah,
wouldn't.
I can't, Coach. Listen, if I were a coach and a student athlete came to me and said, "I'm going to make a transfer," to Cocoa, let's say from a football perspective, because I can make I can make more money off name, image, and likeness. I have an answer for him somewhere in the neighborhood of door and butt, and don't let it hit you. And
Oh,
that's just the way it goes. And so. Yeah, I was curious to get your take on and if it had crept in at all in the sport of, and I haven't heard that it has. But
No, I mean
yeah,
it's. I'm glad. I'm
yeah,
glad, but we all. I think if you talked with every coach, of course, we want the best athletes in the gym for us. At the end of the day, I only want people in the gym that want to be in my gym for the right reasons. And, that's just as simple as it gets because they're going to work the hardest for you. They're going to do, we're going to go through it together and we're going to, again, to me, what I hope never happens is I try and tell my girls, high school, that's one of the most memorable moments in your life,
yep.
period. Now, it's up to you what kind of memories that's going to be. Some will tell you that was the worst memories of their life. Some are going to tell you that's the best memories of your life. But I want you to be in control of it, and let's try and make it the best memories of your life. And then that's why, again, where it gets back to, I want everybody in the gym for the right reasons and wanting to achieve the same goals. So that's what I hope for the future.
I agree, Coach. I well said. And man, I tell you, I don't know if for those of you out there watching, if you're a fan of volleyball and you've never been over to see a satellite varsity volleyball game, get over there. It's a great atmosphere. It's an electric atmosphere. And I can tell you this: any team coached by Daren Bolton is they're going to be fundamentally sound and they're going to stack up wins, and it's going to be you're going to have a good time. And of course, you get that old historic feel when you walk into satellite. Coach, thanks for all you've done. Thanks for all you do. And we look forward to another great year of broadcasting satellite volleyball this year.
Alan, thank you for all you do. I'm super excited about it. Get to go in the gym with them here in just a little while, and it's fun to be excited. And yes, please. I mean, we have a good community support, but I think it's imperative get out and watch some sports, any sport. These kids are out working hard. They do a lot of work, and it means a lot to them to have a lot of people watching them do it.
People often ask me, they get mad at me, Coach. They say, why don't you put up what games you're broadcasting for the entire year? Or why don't you put them up the night before? And my response is always this, because yes, the broadcasts are great, but you should be supporting the student athletes in person first if you can do it. Put some money into the program, put some butts into the bleachers. I'm telling you, folks, that's the biggest thing this county and these student athletes need more than anything is your support. So that's why we don't put them up the night before, because it may be hard. You may have plans to go, so go. So thank you so much, Coach. I really appreciate your time today, and good luck this. We'll see you in a couple of weeks when we do the previews and preview the team for the season.
That's awesome, Alan. You're awesome, and you're the man. I appreciate all you do, my man. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. For head coach Daren Bolton, I'm Alan Slaughterzinski. Once again, be sure to join us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. right here on Facebook and YouTube for the high school football media days from Camping World Stadium. Once again, for head coach Daren Bolton, I'm Alan Slaughterzinski for the Brevard Sports Network. Have a great night.